My next update has to do with, you guessed it, the China issue, because it is being kept forefront in our minds by the Biden administration, pretty much the way the Trump administration tried to do as well. And it is having an equal level of success, that is to say, none at all. I'm going to give you an example. For some years now, the Chinese have been the dominant player in the production of solar panels. They're the world's best producers in quality and the world's cheapest producers. And so the United States, completely outcompeted by the Chinese, who, by the way, got government help, no question. But if you know something about the United States, this government here in the United States has also helped the solar panel industry. It just didn't work out well here. It did work out well there. So Mr. Trump and now Mr. Biden have slapped tariffs on solar panels. In other words, the advantage of the Chinese in price is nullified because everybody who buys from the Chinese in the United States has to pay not only the price of the solar panel, but the tariff, which is a tax, to the US government on top of that. What did the Chinese do faced with the loss of their US market? Since in the United States, once you had to pay the tax, the tariff, to the US government for imported Chinese goods, the cost to you became so high that you might have switched to some other goods coming from some other place. Here's what the Chinese did, and it's very typical. They ended the subsidies to their own people. In other words, you didn't get to buy solar panels cheaply in China the way you had before because the government basically picked up a part of the cost. The government stopped doing that. So the cost to Chinese people of solar panels went up because they lost the subsidy. So the producers in China had to find, you guessed it, alternative markets. So they went around the world really working to find other markets. They lowered the price because they had huge inventories that they couldn't sell to their own people in China. And it worked. They found customers in the rest of the world. They lowered the price. That even offset part of the US tariffs. And here we are years afterwards, and they're still the dominant player, more dominant today than they were then. It didn't work, and it often doesn't. It may look good, we're slapping them with tariffs. It may sound tough and rumble, but you lose in the end. Let me push this a little further. When Americans can't buy cheap quality Chinese high quality solar panels, but at a low price, and they have to pay higher with that tariff, it stimulates production inside the United States. That's even part of the purpose. But that production only happens because you can charge a higher price since the American buyer can't shift to the cheaper Chinese good. And you know what that means? Higher prices in the United States. And you know what that contributes to? Rising prices in the United States. Because if people have to pay more to buy an American solar panel, they're going to charge more in whatever they use that panel for. And so it's part of the very inflation being talked about now, except when it's talked about now, it's not understood that part of the cause of inflation in the United States is US policy blocking China and indeed other parts of the world from bringing goods. So it's a little bit self-defeating. No, let me take that back. It's very self-defeating. Let me give you more examples. Nobody in the rest of the world takes seriously that these activities against China, whether it be solar panels or anything else, have to do with the treatment of a Muslim minority, the Uyghurs. That is a very small, tiny part of the Chinese population. The number of Uyghurs asserted to be maltreated, and I'm not commenting on whether that's true or not. I really have no way to be certain one way or the other. We're talking 2 or 3 million people. You know, it's roughly the population of Palestinians in Israel, about which you don't hear comparable discussion from US policy makers, and certainly no comparable policy actions by US policy makers. Nobody believes it. This is a country that has been at war for the last 20 years against Iraq and Afghanistan, having killed and destroyed Muslim communities, Muslim families, Muslim societies, Muslim infrastructure, that our hearts beat for a Muslim minority, perhaps badly treated over there. Nobody except a few gullible Americans takes that argument seriously. So what everybody realizes is this is the United States unable to win a competition in the market using political power, ideological power, diplomatic power to try to manage the situation. And here's why it's self-destructive. Every other producer in the world of anything that they're selling in the United States now has to worry. Will the American government, maybe not Biden, but whoever the next one comes, weaponize the United States market, use it to force politically unpalatable decisions on other societies, take away markets as a threat? That's a message to every other producer. Keep away from the United States. Build your future by dealings with other countries. The United States is losing business, losing jobs because of its own policies here. This is no way to deal with a competitive challenge, something American policymakers used to understand.